song Liar. A little bit later, we'll get the truth about Jelly's place in the chart on Country Countdown USA. Each week, Lon Helton's joined by a top country star who helps him count down the hits. Lon's off this week. I'm Katie Neal, and my co-host is Dylan Scott. How are you?
I'm great. I'm glad to be co-hosting.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you here. We've had getting back in from the holidays, full swing. Spring started. Did you get to do any hunting?
I did quite a bit of hunting this fall, mostly just deer hunting. But it's almost turkey season, so looking forward to that here in a couple of weeks.
Do you do a big trip?
I used to go to Missouri, but now that I've been in Tennessee for almost 15 years now, which is crazy, I have acquired several farms in the Tennessee area. I've got one that I own, but other ones are just permission farms, so I've got plenty of places to hunt in Tennessee now.
Yeah. Speaking of these farms, you mentioned when you came in that you and your wife are building a house.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
You know, my whole life, all I wanted to do was sing music and make money to buy a farm and build a house and raise my kids. And we bought the farm 2 years ago, right outside of town here. And so we just started building our house almost a year ago. It's almost done. And it's like, I don't know, all your dreams come true. And I get to raise my kids on some land and a forever house. And I don't know, it's kind of old school, but we like it. That's the way we want it.
All right. Well, you and Lon caught up in January along with Dylan Marlowe. Since then, your duet with Dylan, Boys Back Home, went to #1. You are now in our top 5 with This Town's Been Too Good to Us. You've also been teasing some new music. So the Dean leads off this week's top 30 with Heavens to Betsy. I'm Katie Neal filling in for Lon this week. My co-host is Dylan Scott. Your current top 5 is This Town's Been Too Good to Us, which you were one of the writers on. Talk about this song a little bit.
Yeah, it's my favorite town song I've ever written. It's an ode to my hometown. I love where I'm from. I love the people from where I'm from. I love going home to visit, and I love the people in the town. And so it's just, hey, thank y'all for being a part of who I am and why I am who I am. And this town's been too good to us. Been way too good to me.
Love it. And then one of the lines in the song, gave us them girls that stole our hearts, which I'm guessing is this a direct reference to your wife, Blair, who you've known since you guys were kids?
Yeah, I've known her since 7th grade. And then we started dating sophomore in high school. So I was 15, she was 16. So, yeah, she definitely stole my heart. Still has it. Thank God. Thank God she hasn't got rid of it yet. I don't know why she's put up with it this long, but she has. But, I feel like so many people can relate to this song, whether you're from a small town, whether you're from a city, whether you're from a middle of nowhere, not even a town. Like, it doesn't matter. There's so much in this song that I feel like everybody has experienced wherever you're from. And whether it's, like I said, a city, this city's been way too good to us, whatever it is, I think everybody can relate to it.
Absolutely. And I think whether you still live in your hometown or you've moved away,
100%.
You can both ways. It is so as Dylan Scott. And a couple months ago, you were part of Luke Bryan's 10th annual Crash My Playa in Mexico. How was it?
It was good. It was our second time doing it. And anytime you can go to Mexico with Luke Bryan and company and play music, it's a good time. It's a good time.
This was your second time, so was this the trip that you bring wife and kids, or are there any children at Crash My Playa?
No kids at Crash My Playa. I did take my wife the first year. It was great. It was awesome. This year when we went, we got a new addition. So I've got a little boy 7, a little girl's 5, and now we got a little over a year-old baby. So that kind of threw some complications into it. So no wives this year. It was just us and me and the band, and it's a long trip. I'll put it that way. Because it's still a work trip.
Yeah.
It's not like, we're going to go to the resort like our wives think it is. You're just going to go hang out at a resort and have a good time. Like, it's still a work trip, but it was a good time.
I don't think anyone leaves Crash My Playa without at least one drunk Luke Bryan story.
Oh.
Any that you've got that are acceptable for broadcast?
This year it wasn't even Luke, it was Bailey in the pool.
Oh, man.
Bailey had the time of his life. Bailey had the time of his life. And so, good for him. It was, we had a good time. He rallied too, which was...
Number 26, Life with You. Lon's off this week, and I'm Katie Neal. My co-host is Dylan Scott. And you are about to begin the Country Till I Die tour. What are you planning for this as far as bells and whistles?
Yeah, it's going to be... So this is is the biggest headline tour I've ever done. We're moving up in room sizes, so excited about that. I've got George Burge coming out with me, Dasha. It's just going to be a good time. I love all these guys. They're a lot of fun. And, just excited to bring more energy to a bigger room, and we got more lights and just more stuff. I don't know. It's another day for us playing music, but it's also at the same time, it's like the biggest we've ever played ourselves.
Has there been anything as you're planning new production, like you mentioned, new lights and stuff, that you're like, I want one of those?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of those I want one of those moments until you see the price tag on it, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I think I'll want one of those maybe the next time we bump up, you know? But we've still upped it a little bit. I went to Disney World in November, and that's a bad place to be when you're brainstorming for a tour and production. Because I'm texting my guy going, hey, dude, we need something like this and like this and like this. And he's all about it. He's like, let's do it. So he's getting prices and this and that. And yeah, by the time I got that back, it was close to $200,000. I was like, all right, bud, scratch that. Not happening.
Not the Disney money
Just
yet.
Just get a couple bar lights that are, a couple $100, and we'll see what we can do there.
Summer. My co-host is Dylan Scott, talking about his Country Till I Die tour. Do you ever bring the kids out on the road? Like, does Beckett get to
I am
come
this
with you?
year. Yeah, I brought them a couple times last year, but I've been one bus this whole time. I could have gone to two, maybe last year, the year before, but they're so expensive. It's like, man, I got better things to spend my money on than a bus. But we're going to do it this year just because, like I said a while ago, my kids are at an age now where it's like they need to experience this. They need to come out on the road with dad. And so this summer, we'll go to two buses, and I'll have the whole family out, and we'll see how it goes. They love it, though. They love coming out.
I was going to say, it's got to feel a little bit like camping for them.
For them, yeah. Yeah.
As the shows have grown and gotten bigger, have there been any artists that you're friends with or anybody that you've toured with that you kind of go to for advice?
I mean, some of the best advice that I've gotten was from Luke Bryan when I was on tour with him a couple years ago. He just said, hey, have fun. That's all. I mean, just have fun. It's not rocket science, We're not doing heart surgery here. We're fixing to go strum guitars and sing music and bring a party. Yeah.
Bring a party, which you will on the Country Till I Die tour. All those dates while Lon Helton's away. My co-host is Dylan Scott. Now, when you're not busy with music, you also have a couple of different business ventures. Let's talk about latest one, which is Drips Coffee Shop right outside of Nashville. Talk about that.
Yeah, so my little brother's my lead guitar player in the band, and left high school, didn't go to college, just to follow my footsteps. And so after a while, I'm like, man, I kind of need to do something to my little brother, like give him some ownership other than his title of, I play lead guitar for my big brother in a band. Like, come on now, like, which is great. It's all good. But so he loves coffee. Him and his wife know it like the back of their hand. And so we opened this coffee shop, and it's rocking and rolling. Drips Coffee Shop in Hendersonville. It's where they live. And it's really, really doing great and looking at expanding to other locations.
Wow, that's very fun. Yeah. Are you a big coffee guy?
I like coffee. I usually drink a cup or two every morning, but if you start asking me like crazy questions about coffee, no, I'm still put a Keurig cup in the deal and press start, and here we go about our day.
I'm the same way. I drink cold coffee out of a jug, and when somebody starts talking to me about coffee and the beans, I'm like, what?
Yeah, where they're from, the origin.
Back to the countdown. We are at Nos moves up 3 to number 20, single again. Lon's off this week, and I'm Katie Neal. My co-host is Dylan Scott. Let's go back to your most recent number 1, Boys Back Home, with Dylan Marlowe. Lon actually called Dylan when that song went number 1, and here's a little bit of that conversation.
When did you talk to your partner, Dylan Scott, and celebrate that number 1?
Yeah, I called him a little bit earlier that day, and we just kind of, when I called him, we just kind of laughed because, Dylan, it was Dylan's initial idea to even do the song on, be a feature on my song. It wasn't even my idea to go ask him, and he just, he was like, hey, we should do this, and this will be a radio hit if you did it. And I was like, no way, I don't even have a record deal. I don't even know what that would look like. And so all due to him. So we just kind of started laughing because he's like, I told you.
No, it's great how that works out. I love that. And you'll take I told you so from him, right?
That's right. Yeah, I'll gladly take that in this situation. A little different when my wife says it.
Love that dude, man.
He is such a sweetie.
Oh, I wouldn't say he's a sweetie, but good dude.
We love you, Dylan Marlowe.
Dylan, you're such a sweetie.
Such a sweetie. Is this song going to go in your set list for the Country Till I Die tour?
Yeah, it'll be in there. We've been playing it from the beginning. I just love this song. You know, it's such a, the melody is, what's the word? Infectious, I guess. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it sticks with you and it just feels good. And I just remember the first time I heard it and calling him and talking to him. I said, dude, this song right here, like, what are you going to do with it? I was like, man, how cool would it be to have two Dylans on a song, and dude don't even have a record deal, and we just go out there and just break the rules and do it the non-Nashville way, you know? And then Dylan gets signed to Sony, and it's like, okay, yeah, we can do it now. So it's like, turn into the Nashville way, but it's all good. It needed to work that way. I'm glad it did. And yeah, got a number one out of it.
Dylan Marlowe, Dylan Scott, it's Boys Guy for that. Lon's off this week. I'm Katie Neal with my co-host Dylan Scott. So I want to talk about, we mentioned earlier, you've got 3 kids. Talk about what ages are they? Beckett, Finley, and Barron.
Yeah, so Beckett is 7, Finley's 5, and Barron is a little over a year and a half.
You are dangerously close to being out of diapers.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to be out of diapers, and so much milk goes through my house, and milk is expensive. Gosh, between the kids and their cereal and then Barron just down in milk still, I'm like, man.
How about Beckett? Is he was playing baseball? Is he still playing baseball?
He's still playing, yeah. And he's, I mean, I know he's my kid, but I don't know. He's a rock star. I'm like, dude, where'd you get these baseball skills from? Because I didn't play baseball growing up. I don't know where you got it from, but I love it.
And once again, at number 17, coming home, I'm Katie Neal here for Lon Helton this week. My co-host is Dylan Scott, and we were just catching up about your 3 kids. Whenever I see you guys post little videos together, like Beckett's always doing something funny in the background.
Oh, he's a mess. He is a mess. Everything he says, I'm just like, where did this come from? Where'd you learn this from? Kids are smart these days. Way smarter than I was back in the day, the things they say and do. And Finley, look, Finley is too. Finley's a little more shy. But when you get to know Finley, she is a cut up as well. So, and that's what I want. I was a shy kid growing up, and I always told myself, like, man, when I have kids, I pray to God they're just like outgoing and go-getters. And it took me a long time in life for that to come out. I always had it, but they're something else.
I imagine that Finley, being the middle child in between the 2 boys, she rules the whole house,
100%,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And being the girl.
Yep.
Yeah, she rules the house, no doubt. And she's the child where you look at her and go, Finley, I said don't do that. And she'll look at you and give that little grin like, okay, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And she still does it anyway. And you can't get really mad about it.
No, you can't. Have you heard Kane Brown's new song, Backseat Driver, about little girls?
I have, yeah.
What did you think of that song? That one get you?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. Any song about a little girl will get you, especially when it's about your little girl, right? So, yeah.
We did. I'm Katie Neal with Dylan Scott, and up next we got a guy that you wanted to talk about, Mr. Drew Baldridge.
So I've known Drew from the beginning of coming to town, and I've played so many shows with Drew, and so the fact that he's not only coming off of number 1, but he's got another song sitting at 14 right now, no record label, doing it all himself, that is incredible. It's kind of unheard of, to be honest with you. You know, and I'm just so proud of him, and I'm really happy that it's worked the way it's happened. Like, he has done this. I know he's got a team of people, but the dude's done it himself, and that's inspiring.
It is, and the songs have been amazing.
Yep. This song is amazing.
Like, to follow, his last number 1 up with Tough People, the first time I heard, like, no matter where you are, the first time you hear this song, it just kind of like hits you right in the chest.
No doubt. I mean, it is that song.
And here he is, the guy we're talking about. It's Drew Baldridge. People, I'm Katie Neal here for Lon Helton this week. My co-host is Dylan Scott. Up next, we got the latest from Jason Aldean. As we said, you were at Crash My Playa earlier this year. You were also a part of Luke Bryan's the Luke Bryan and Friends concert. So was Jason. Did you just stick around, spend any time with Jason?
Yeah, we hung out for quite a bit after that deal. And you know, it's crazy. I got to tell Jason a story. So when I was, I think I was probably 14 or 15. I was at my local mall where I'm from, and I was with my mom, and we walked into Hollister because that was the big thing.
I can smell it, as you say.
I can smell it too, yeah. And I see this dude. I'm like, man, I know this guy from somewhere. And so we leave. I couldn't figure it out. Walked into American Eagle. And he comes walking into American Eagle, and I was like, it hit me. I said, that's Jason Aldean. And he was just getting going. Like, I think it was Hicktown was the big song then, which I think was his first one. And I was too shy to go talk to him. So my mom was like, go talk to him. I was like, no, I can't. So my mom did. My mom walked up to him. She's like, hey, I'm such and such. I know you're Jason. This is my son, Dylan. And he's going to move to Nashville and, you know, try to be a country music singer too, kind of like yourself. And so I met Jason in American Eagle, and so I got to tell him that story. I was like, man, you will never remember this, but I just want you to know I met you when I was 14 or 15 in American Eagle. My mom walked up to you and said this and said that. And so, yeah, he's just such a good dude. He's so real, down to earth, and we sat there and chatted for a long time.
It's kind of like very serendipitous that Jason Aldean would have been at your childhood mall in Louisiana.
He was playing a show that night at the Civic Center.
And we're in Hollister. Number 12, Am I Okay? Lon's got the weekend off. I'm Katie Neal with my co-host Dylan Scott. I feel like you are always working on new music. So what can you say about, you know, where are you at in the process of the new album?
Yeah, new album is done.
Okay.
I can say that. And I can say that it's going to be out sooner than later. We should be, I guess, announcing when that is pretty soon. That being said, there is a new album done, and then once the album's out, we're already started recording for more music. So
really,
yeah, it's just not gonna ever end. And that's the way I like it. We went through so many years of just recording an album and then putting a single out, and that was it. And then as soon as we said, you know what, let's release more music more often, everything started growing. The fan base started growing. Numbers started growing rapidly. It's like, this is kind of the way we need to do it right now. You know, just keep releasing music. Because, I mean, look, we're not a superstar. We're not some crazy playing stadiums and big arenas. I mean, I want to play arenas, but I think the only way for me to do it right now is just to keep grinding and putting music out and growing it.
Back to the 1 to number 10, I'm the Problem. Lon's got the weekend off. I'm Katie Neal with my co-host Dylan Scott. Earlier, we talked about the Country Till I Die tour, and you mentioned that you've got George Burge coming out on this show. He actually, when he was here with Lon, he talked about your tour.
Dylan Scott also, I'm so excited to go out on tour with him. I've known Dylan for a little while, and we've been buddies. You know, we're both dads. We both love country music. We also both love to get a little rowdy every now and then. And the tickets have been flying for that tour already, so I cannot wait to go out there and cut loose a little bit. And it's fun to see Dylan have a couple songs flying up the charts too.
Such a good dude. Known him for several years, and just looking forward to having him out there. And you know, I think we talked about it a little bit, how great of a golfer he is.
So good.
Yeah, and I'm not. I suck. So I really hope he doesn't ask me to go golf, but he probably will, and I'm going to tell him I'm going one time. And if you can't make me a better golfer this one time, I'll never golf again. So it's up to you.
What is it that's hard for you about golf?
I'm such a competitive person, and I wouldn't say that I'm great at sports, but I feel like I can hold my own. Like I can at least not like an idiot and do what I need to do and be competitive. And when it comes to golf, I look like an idiot. I'm not competitive. I can't keep up. And as a man, there's nothing worse.
Lon's got the week off. I'm Katie Neal with my co-host Dylan Scott. We talked about George Burge earlier, joining you on your spring tour this year. Also on there is Dasha, which that girl just having a huge year. Have you seen her live yet?
Oh, yeah.
Electric.
But her personality's electric too. Like the first time I met her, we'd known each other for years. Just how she comes across, she's just there to have fun and be a buddy, and that's what it's about. Like she wasn't too you meet some people sometimes, they're just like, oh yeah, I'm such and such. Like, nah, none of that with her. She's just there to chill and hang out, and I'm looking forward to it. She's crushing it.
Yeah, she's going to be a great person to have open, and she's going to get that crowd all pumped up.
Yeah, no doubt.
Dasha had one of once again at number 7, I Never Lie. Lon's got the weekend off. I'm Katie Neal, again with my co-host Dylan Scott. So your name actually came up a few months ago when Nate Smith was here talking to Lon.
Dylan and I will send like the most ridiculous videos to each other. He's an absolute creep with his video. And he'll come in and like show his tongue and like, and then I'll do a video like that back to him. It's just kind of our like thing. We just like, we'll randomly FaceTime each other and randomly send each other a funny video just to catch.
Where'd this friendship start?
We played a show together at one of the award shows. We talked for a few minutes and I just liked him. We shared each other's number and then he sent me a weird video first, I think. And then I was like, man, I guess I'm gonna make it even weirder for him and just see where this thing goes. And he was like mocking World on Fire. He's like, you set my world on fire, and like being like just like really, I don't know, it's just funny. And then I was singing his songs and teasing him, and he's a good dude.
Yeah, we've I don't even know how that started. You know, like Nate and I, we've played a couple of shows together since we met, but never really just hung out or anything. Like, so we don't really know each other that well other than just through text messages and FaceTimes, which is it's different for me because, I mean, usually before I'm FaceTiming somebody or sending them weird videos through text messages, like, I know this person. We just hit it off, and he was just such a good dude. It's like, man, once again, it's like, I feel like I've known this dude for years, you know? And so, yeah, we have a pretty, I don't know what you'd call it. Our relationship is video text messages of just the most random thing you've ever seen. If the FBI went through our text messages, they'd be like, what is wrong with these dudes?
I was going to say, what did he call it? Your creepy videos that you send? He said that and then he called you a good guy right after.
Yeah, I mean, pretty spot on. Pretty spot on. Good job, Nate. Thanks for telling the world about our creepy videos.
Nate Smith had the #1 song of 2024. Here he is. It's World on Fire. World on Fire. Lon's got the weekend off. I'm Katie Neal with my co-host Dylan Scott. As we head back to this week's chart, up next is Cole Swindell, who you have the same management team as.
Yeah.
You also toured with him last year.
Last summer, yeah. We had a good time.
I'm sure you saw him and Courtney are expecting.
I did. So happy for them. They got to it quick. I mean,
Yes.
just got married and said, hey, it's time. And good for them. Good for them. I'm so happy for them. I mean, they deserve nothing but the best. Cole's such a good dude. Had a great time on tour with him. What can you say about the dude?
At number 5, This Town's Been Too Good to Us. So let's talk about the video. What I wanted to ask about, there's an actor playing you in the video that has like a little bit of a beard.
That's my nephew.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's my sister's
Stop.
son. Yep.
How fun was that to put him in this video?
Oh, it was so cool. It was so cool. I mean, the whole video, going back to my hometown, that was my high school. There's a part where they're on it's a baseball field. They're playing football. So we used to sneak in and break into that baseball field at night and turn the lights on and play football. That Walmart parking lot, we all hung out there. I mean, everything to a T you see in that video is basically a flashback. The house was my old house. The house where my nephew's kissing the other girl, that was my wife's house, where that's the first place I ever kissed her, was right there in that video. So we went back and just pulled all the exact moments and stuff that we actually did as a kid.
A literal trip down memory lane.
Exactly.
And your nephew has to be like the coolest kid in school right now. How old is he?
Oh, he's out of school now.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, all of his buddies and everybody, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure he's got, Thomas Rhett put his younger brother in his music video, and he was saying he's got a couple hundred Instagram followers now. He's having a nice time.
And see, my nephew's he's such a shy kid.
Really?
Doesn't talk very much. So the fact that he even did this was shocking. And so if he was to walk in right now, you could probably barely get a word out of him. That's how shy he is. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. How did you talk him into doing it?
I just said, man, I really need you. Like you kind of look like me in a way, so just do it. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. No problem. It's like, I can't believe you just said that.
Come help Uncle Dylan out. All
yes.
right. Well, back to the countdown. We're at number 4 with Cody Johnson and Karen. Low Cash up 1 to number 2. Hometown Home. Lon's got the week off. I'm Katie Neal with my co-host Dylan Scott. So we've talked about the Country Till I Die tour this spring, biggest headlining tour. What's the rest of this year look like for you?
Yeah, a lot of fairs and festivals this summer. All the big festivals. I didn't do them last summer. Was out with Cole doing that. So we'll do them this summer, and then we're going to continue some headline tour until the fall. kind of the same size rooms we're going to do here in the spring. So we'll be announcing that here in the next couple of months, I would say. So, yeah, looking forward to that, and just playing shows, doing the deal.
I saw that you also have one show in July with Brad Paisley. Have you ever played with him before?
No, I haven't. I'm really looking forward to it because, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, obviously, I mean, Paisley was Paisley. He was on top. He was doing his thing. And so I always thought it'd be cool to either go on tour with Paisley or just meet him and do the thing. And I've never met him, so I'm really looking forward to having the opportunity to open for him, direct support, and hopefully meet him and, I don't know, just say what's up. I have a little story about him. When I was dating my wife one Christmas, I pulled the guitar. The same little house in the video, This Town's Been Too Good to Us, right in front of that house. I pulled my guitar out of my truck and I sang She's Everything by Brad Paisley. And I'm pretty sure that sealed the deal. So thank you, Brad, for that.
That is a fantastic story, which I think he will really enjoy. All right. And there they are, the top 30 hits in the USA as compiled by Country Air Check. Lon returns next week. I'm Katie Neal and my co-host Dylan Scott. The Country Till I Die tour starts in a couple weeks. Where can folks see you?
Yeah, we're going to be starting the tour in Boston on April the 3rd, and then in Wallingford, Connecticut on the 4th, New York City at Terminal 5 on the 5th, Cincinnati, Clovis, California. We'll be at Stagecoach, Henderson, Nevada. We're everywhere. You got to check it out. Go check the dates out. I'm sure we're coming to your town. DylanScottCountry.com. The current hit is This Town's Been Too Good to Us. Best of luck with that. And thank you so much for helping me with the countdown for the first time. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate it.
Country Countdown.